By looking at me, what do you think my part-time job is? A CNA? A waitress? I work in a clothing store? No. I actually drive a forklift, and I have about 2 years experience. Forklift drivers are very important because everything you buy in a store comes off a truck, and forklift drivers put those things onto the trucks. I'm going to teach you how to safely operate a forklift. First thing you need to know is what type of forklift you are operating. Is it electric or is it natural gas? Natural gas have a huge tank on the back that is full of natural gas, and that's how it's powered. Those are usually powered outdoors. I work with more indoor ones, which are electric ones. First thing you need to do is unplug it from its power source. It's usually a large box. It looks like this, and the lid is up. I'll explain more of that later. The next thing you want to do is just unplug it, and this is what the plug looks like. It's very simple. You just unplug it and then plug it into the forklift. And then you fold the lid down. The reason the lid was up was because of the heat. It's like when you have a cell phone charging and it gets really hot, the same thing happens with a forklift. And then what you want to do is inspect it. Just give it a general overview, make sure the tires look good. This is a picture of a forklift from the back, just for those of you who don't really know what a forklift looks like. And then here's a picture from the front. Next thing you need to know is how to turn it on. You put the key in, like a normal car, very simple, and you release the parking brake. It's just like running a car. This is what the parking brake looks like. Now that you know how to turn it on, I'm going to teach you how to use it. First, you need to know a couple main parts. I have this detailed picture here. You don't need to know everything. All you really need to know are these are the forks or tines. It can be called either. And then there's a chain right up in here that moves it up and down and left and right. Also, you want to know about the wheel. It's not a normal steering wheel. There's a ball on it, and instead of you driving like this, you put your hand on the ball and drive with the ball. Here's a good picture of what that looks like. Now, how do you move your tines around? Do you move them up or down? Like, what do you do? There are usually 2 to 4 levers on your right-hand side. Some lifts are called finger lifts. They look like this. They have an armrest over here, and then their levers are there, very small levers. Other lifts are regular lifts, and the levers just sit on the side. They're like long, tall ones. The first lever moves the tines up and down. The second one moves the tines like forward or backward as in a tilt, because you need to tilt it every once in a while. And then the third one, if you have it, will shift you left and right. Now, how do you go? What do you do to go forward? You just press the gas. Very simple. And to stop, you press the brake. It's just like a normal car. To go forwards, you don't have a gear shift. You flick a little lever on the side right next to your wheel, and you go flick it forward away from you. We'll go forwards. To flick it back towards you, we'll go reverse. A very important thing you need to know is the horn. You have a horn in your steering wheel, but the more important horn is the one on your foot. It's right underneath your left foot, and it's a little button, and you push it. You push it every time that you come at an intersection, or you're reversing, or you see someone and you don't think they see you, just to let people know you're around. Now I'm going to teach you a couple general safety rules just before you get started. Always wear your seatbelt, because forklifts are easy to tip over, so you just want to keep that on just in case you tip. Always keep your tines low to the ground when you're moving. About 8 inches is a general rule of thumb. Never carry more than the load amount. Usually they vary, but it's around 5,000 pounds. You want to drive backwards if your load is too tall and you can't see over it. You just flip around backwards and drive. It's like driving a car. And make sure not to take sharp turns, because if you do, you can tip very easily. Now, what's the basics of transporting something? Well, if you're pulling it off a truck, you got to make sure the truck is secure and that the dock door is propped up so it doesn't fall down on you. After that, you just drive in. Make sure your tines are off the ground a couple inches into the pallet, and that your tines are level to the ground and to the pallet. You slide all the way in, and then you tilt backwards and lift up a couple inches. Then you just drive, and make sure to remember to use your horn and to drive backwards if it is too tall. Now, what happens if you're in a weird situation? Like, what if your tines don't fit in the pallet? You just lift them up to about chest level and you move them in. It's very simple. And then what if something's not on a pallet? Then what you do is you lower your tines all the way to the ground, and you tilt them all the way down, and you slide under, and you pull it out and just set it on top of a pallet. Now that you know the basics, like how to turn on, safely operate, transport, and some weird situations, if you can remember these, maybe someday you can be a forklift driver and help ship trucks to you and to stores all around in a timely manner. So next time you're in a store and you're buying a bag of chips or a bottle of shampoo, remember that got to you by a forklift driver.